really talking about how to learn new skills and how to make it stick. Because what I've run into is that, I mean, we can change in here what we do, but then it won't make it to the course. So we're all just wasting time if that happens, right? And I'm not talking about kids players that are like resistant or anything. It's like people who want to get better. So I'm trying to figure that out a little bit. Let me add this. All right, should be recording now. So what I'll do to begin with, well, my philosophy has always been that, I mean, if you do 1,000 reps wrong, you're going to do the 1,000 first one wrong. So that's the reason I want this. Should be on a delay now, so that you can see. But one of the things I listened to today was just about the brain and how things work and learning new skills. Because really, I'm real technical, and so not doing it quite right or making an error or anything like that, that's just an opportunity to learn. Okay, and you got to look at it like that. The way I look at things is not results at all. Okay, it's if you do the process right and learn those things, then the results will take care of themselves. But the automatic part of your brain, I call it the auto brain back here. It's going to want to take over, and so the way we learn this is we just try to do a lot of reps where you're really concentrating on, you know, how your body's moving. What I'll do to begin with is I just want to toss you some balls and just let you hit. You're not warmed up at all, are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay. I'll move this out of the way. And how do you normally warm up? Just.
Well, I stretched on the way here.
You did? Okay. All right.
But.
Just so we have some recording of what's going on. Now, I invented this. I won't worry about this. Probably, we might put some up. But I hang it on the net so that it's a blocker. Because I never let my girls, I hardly ever let my girls, and when I coach varsity, let them hit with an open net. Because they never got to hit with an open net. So learning how to tool balls and things like that. So just half speed right now. Just don't swing hard. I just want you to get loose. Ah! Am I talking too high? Don't hit hard. There you go. Now I'm going to push this in here. Actually, I have a grip on my toe there. Well, I'll let you do that again. I'll let you hit this thing a few times. And we'll see how high you get. I'm going going to try what I normally do, and I'm not going to do that. I just be drinking through a fire hose the whole night. And I started to do that. I've done that before where, okay, I don't have much time. We're going to, and then you can go through and watch the video. But I'm going to try not to do that this time. So we're going to pick out a few things. I may tell you what eventually we'll do, but we're going to pick out a few things that you can really concentrate on this weekend, and maybe it'll change something for next week. All right, so hit a few of those and let's see. All right, so we're at 100 right there, so let me drop it down to 99. We're going to get you where you're jumping higher today, okay? You need it higher or you need it? Okay, all right, hang on a second. All right. Hit it. That's all right. I've got a, we've got a net right here. Well, it's hung all up in here for some reason. I wonder if that'll work. Well, I don't know. All right, so hit a few more. That was 24 miles an hour. $26. Just getting the baseline. All right, 28. All right. That just kind of gives us a baseline. So the big thing that I see is that really we're going to start out with hip turn, but we also, you want to be a lot more aggressive. You can jump higher than you are, but you can also contact the ball higher than you are and further out than you are because, let me see it, ball here. Actually, look at do this ball. All right, come up here and I want you to just put your hand like this, or you can go like that. Keep your hips faced this way, and I want you to put your palm on the ball right there. All right, so your palm's on the ball there. Okay. All right, now turn your hips. All right, and then retire. Turn your hips even further. Should be on the ball a little bit more. Okay, so essentially, what winds up happening is if you swing like this, you're reaching there. If I do this, now I'm on top. You see my hips? In order to do that, my hips have to turn. So one of the things we're going to do with hip turn, you're going to get a contact point that's more out in front and higher, number one. And number two, you're going to get power from rotation. Okay? A lot of people, what we used to teach was crunch down and all this stuff, but the only thing is, when you do that, you're coming down too. You're coming down a lot there too. But you get a lot of power out of rotation. So, what is that? 98. All right. So this time, when you land, I want you to land facing here, with your belly button facing right here. All right. All right, so that's the only thing I really want you to concentrate on. I don't care if you missed the ball or not. All right? All right, see, watch, I think you landed and then you turned a little. No, you didn't. You did a good job. All right, good. All right, do it again. right, you see how much that ball went down? Right? So that's a big difference right there. Because the other ones that you were hitting that I was sitting there gauging, they were all hitting the tape. Okay? Alright, so that's a big difference in the trajectory of the ball is when you swing and get your hips turned, that's what's gonna happen. Alright, go ahead. Good. Alright, the other thing that you saw, where do you normally hit balls? Do you have a place that you normally hit when you swing from the outside? Where do your balls land? Okay, I started to say, line is where you want. I mean, you live on the line. And that what you just hit was my line. Like, I told your mom on text, I think probably the best thing I do as a coach is I'm detailed and specific is the nice way to put it. Anal is probably the correct way, okay? Because I don't let people, because they would hit down here, hit line here, and I'm like, no, my line is here. Why? Because I don't want a defender here, if I hit a ball there, if you hit a ball there, and I do this, more than likely, they're not gonna get a good run on offense out of it, but two, the ball's probably gonna land out here if they even get to it, okay? So what we did is we went down the line every single time, and I know I'm getting way off of what we're doing here, but live down here. Until they take it away, live right here, because the good things happen when you go down the line, because when you hit it, you can tool the block, you can do a whole lot of things. People don't have the guts to hit the line, because they don't want, if it goes out by that much, everybody in the gym knows it, but you got to be smarter than that. For them to defend you, I want them to put a foot right there. All right, and when that happens, this is going to open up, or if they shift somebody over, that's going to open up. We don't make people defend the whole court. We make them defend 2/3 of the court, and that's the reason we don't score points. Okay, that was all for free. All right. All right, good, watch. All right, see a huge difference in how you were, in basically in just that. All right, so let's see. Don't want to do anything else. I want to add two things to it, I think. I add one more thing to it. But go ahead and do it again. Let me watch. Okay. All right. So now we're going to get you jumping a little higher. What I want you to do is when you reach back, I want you to reach back over your head. Right there, okay? And now the other thing is, I want you to bound in here like, and what I watch a lot of times and listen for is, you want to be 1, 2. And if you've heard any of this, just let me know.
No, I haven't.
Okay, all right, so what they say is the less time you spend on the floor here, the higher you jump. I don't know if that's quite true or not, but I know when I hear this, like that, you're losing momentum, okay? So the way to do that is, when you make your approach, I'm going to hurt myself, is throw those hands back here, and then drive that knee up a little like that, okay? And that's probably going to help you a good bit. So let's see what happens there. All right, watch out. See how you didn't reach back? Watch. Right there. I want you back here, which means you're going to have to be, your chest is going to have to be facing the ground a little bit, okay? All right. That was a lot more, you had a lot more momentum, right? No, you didn't, but we only think about one thing at a time, probably. All right, so. Good. See, that's probably a good bit different. Okay. Reach further back. Okay. There's one other cue that I think about. Get some water if you need it. I know you're the one jumping and I'm not. Oh, I thought I'd made a mistake. Hang on, I'll get it. that one was a good bit there. Let's see if we can raise it up again. I don't think you turned the hip, what? Yeah. Okay. So it's going to feel weird. See how you... That's good. That's going to feel really, really awkward. But if you do it right, you almost don't even get to see the ball land. But, and to let you know the, I don't know, I guess it's the biology behind it, the physiology behind it, maybe something like that. But anyway, this helps your shoulder too, because what you're doing is you're turning, and I'm going to talk a little about hip and shoulder separation in a minute, but you're turning, and my elbow basically stays to the side of my shoulder the whole time. But I'm here, and then boom, there. So it's a lot easier on your shoulder, but you get that power too, that rotational power. And I mean, you got a lot of good, I mean, you're tall, so that's good. You got a lot of leverage, and that's where you need to get a lot of your power from. All right, watch. Get those hips turned. All right, good. All right. Let's see. Do I have something to sit on? We had okay. Let me turn this bucket over. Okay. I can't turn that one over. I've got something in here. All right. I hope this is not too much for you. All right, just sit down right here. Put a volleyball between your knees. Okay. You get a golf. All right. Now what we want, in order to get that, so you've got, I can't remember what it's called, but sort of muscle that's coming across here. I don't know why I said this, but anyway, what a lot of people do is they swing and their hips and their shoulders are together. So in other words, if I have something through my hips and something through my shoulders, they're both turning at the same time. What we want is we want those hips to turn and the shoulders to be almost perpendicular. So when you jump, if you're, I'm all over the place. I hope you can follow my logic. But in order for to jump from here and to land there, you have to start twisting on takeoff. Because if you jump in the air and then you try to twist in the air, your legs spread apart and it's different, right? You got to start turning. Okay, so we want to start turning with our hips, but we want to leave our shoulders back if we can, so that because we're spinning so much that if I'm like this, then I'm going to be hitting like that. We want to be snapping down, okay, or not snapping necessarily down. So if that's your shoulders and this is your hips, we want that separated. All right, so turn my way, as far as you can. As far as you can. Okay, so let me put this right here. Is that uncomfortable for you?
No.
All right, so that's hip and shoulder separation right there. We want it as much as we can. All right, so what you do, the reason I sat you down there, part of your warm up should be to do that, and then just put your hands here and breathe up, breathe in deep. Well, actually, turn as far as you can. Breathe in deep and exhale, and then see if you can go any further. Okay. And then do the other side. So you just turn as far as you can, get as much separation as you can, take a deep breath, and then stretch as far as you can that way. All right, good?
Yeah.
All right, so do that a couple more times. But part of this, it's part of your stretching because you want to get that where you that actually pulls, right? That's what we want. That's what we want to happen. We want those hips to turn, the shoulders to be back, and then slam the ball, and then they catch back up. Okay. And I've got a harness that actually helps with this too a little bit. We won't worry about that. All right. So there's three things that sort of work together, and it may be too many, but we're going to see. Okay, so you can move that out of the way. Okay, so what are the three things? You tell me what the three things are. See if you can think of them. I'll try to get this started right here. All right, so let's see. Do you need it higher or you need it? Yeah, let me look at something else as you jump. Okay. So the third most important thing probably for you is the hip-shoulder separation right now. So let's work on a big approach, arms behind you, and then get your hips turned. Good. That was at your max from earlier before, and you didn't even hit that ball real solid. If there's anything that you see that I'm missing or anything like that, let me know.
I think she's a little hesitant because she's not hit on the moves.
Oh, okay.
I think she's like...
Well, this sort of isolates things so that, you can really work on these three things. Otherwise, you've got so many things going on. Yeah. They're expensive. All right, so you're hitting at 100 now, which 100 inches is what it's called. But anyway, I don't know how high it really is right there, but it's just a gauge for it. So that's higher than you were jumping, so that's good. Let me erase that just a hair. That's a little bit too high. All right, so you're raised up about, so you're up higher, you're probably, or you're 3.5 inches higher than you were when you walked in, okay? And that's just from being aggressive with your arms throwing back. Are you throwing your arms way back this time or not? All right, let's see. Drive that one knee up too. Here you go. Watch it. I don't think you turned your hips that time. So, let's see. So let's really concentrate on the two things, not worry so much about the hip-shoulder separation. You just need to know that that's where you've got to go. That's going to give you a lot more power. There's one other thing that I'm missing on the approach, and I can't remember what it is. Something that's helpful. All right, go again one more time. All right, get your hips turned. Better. Alright. Sometimes they're cradled too higher than what they were. So. Alright, do you have any questions? A little hop, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like that's like making me like not jump as high.
Yeah, I didn't say anything about it, but because I've had players before that just did that automatically. Well, I coached her daughter, and now I coached her, and now her daughter's a senior at Danville. But that's hereditary for her because her mama did that little hop, and then she did that little hop. You had the little hop before you get going. So. So let's think about this, like just thinking about it being more game-like. Instead of just standing there like you're in a hitting line, let's see what happens if you were to come off the net. Yeah, transition off the net, and then okay. Does that feel better? A little bit. Okay. All right, what if you just come here, and for a middle I would call this a hop and pop, but sometimes you just got to get up and hit the ball, right? So just start from here and just jump up and hit it. Yeah, well, I mean, take 2 steps. So in other words, just like stand here, take a crow hop and hit it. Here you go. Yeah. All right, good. Let me lower it just a hair. All right, so I want you to crow hop and hit it, but I want you to turn your hips violently. Okay? All right, you got way under. Did you feel that? Okay. Good. There you go. So that keeps you from having to think about all of the other stuff, right? Ooh. I know, this thing, that's the only bad thing, not a good one. I don't know if I can get that. There we go. And I'll toss you some balls here in a few minutes. Good, see what you did there with that one. Good, you didn't get your hips turned, but you had a good. So what's happening a little bit is, like that, you had a good arm whip, but you didn't have the hip turn. So you get the hip turn and the arm whip, then that's when the ball starts just bouncing off of your hand. See about your hip. Go. That looks a lot better, I think. Yeah, so that was a little bit of both of them. Are you getting a little bit too far under it, I wonder? Let's look at that. All right, watch that. All right, do it one more time. Okay, that was a little bit better. Watch this. Okay. So let's try to have you jumping maybe up towards the ball and through the ball there instead of there. Okay, so we'll be able to see that on the film a little bit, I think. Watch it. Alright? So we're going to get all this stuff working together at some point. Okay, that was better. I think. Watch where you're jumping from and to. Yeah, but you shot it like a basketball. So I know it's almost basketball season. Turn those hips a lot. There you go. You can just leave those out there. It's not a big deal. Yeah. Here you go. Good. Watch. See if you jumped up that. So you're getting momentum coming through here, and but you can raise that too, so that you don't have to duck under. But you don't need to go get it. All right. You need water? Sure. Okay. Okay, so anything, what do you, I should have asked you this beforehand, what do you struggle with, anything as far as?
Probably like jumping up.
Okay. Yeah. So throwing your hands back is going to help with that. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, then you pull through. Okay, that looks better. Get those hips turned. Okay. Now, yeah, there you go. So I think when you get your hips turned, I think you're going to have to be approaching it a little bit further back. Not a lot, but a little bit. Because once you get, like I said, once you get your hips turned, your ball's more like here instead of out there. Okay. That looks, I was just looking from the hips down, and that one looks pretty good. Hang on a second. I know you're, but it's good to jump and jump. I mean, it's good to hit and hit and hit and think about think about changing these things. So sometimes it looks like you're in more rhythm. Like that last one looked like it was rushed up here, just from the waist up. The one before that didn't. The one before that seemed like it was in rhythm and like it's like. So all of these things have to work together. Just the. I mean, all these, really what we want to be is coming up here, your hips are turning, and then you're pulling down, and this right here goes from there to there to there and pop. So it's a lot of things that need to work in rhythm, but I just wanted to notice that. I wanted you to notice, did you feel anything different in the last one? You've already forgotten the one before last, right? Yeah. So let's pay attention to that a little bit as we go along. So let's try to get that one was good. So the other thing is you might be rushing yourself a little bit too much, going, time after time after time. Oh. Let's see. All right, now that one looked like you got up. Let's raise you a little bit. Okay. Now reach back. Reach back. Good. You just trying to hit them out, Brin? Alright. Get a good, I mean, one of the things too may be not, oh, you don't have one, to mentally be like, I mean, I had one kid, she wound up playing at Montevallo, but, and she just loved to hit the ball. Alright, so, but every opportunity she got, now here's the big key for her that I knew, she max jumped every time. From the time that we started in the summer until mid-season, she would gain 3 inches on her jump. You don't do that unless you're max jumping. But she, like when the ball was in the air, she got so excited, and she was just like, and I mean, she'd go up there and have this huge hand. I mean, she was about probably your stature when she was a senior. She was a little bit taller, but as far as build, she wasn't like bulky or anything like that. So get in your mind when that ball gets in the air, in order to jump high, I'm gonna sling my hands back, drive that knee forward, and I'm gonna get up. I can see you do that every once in a while, so let's see you do it every time. Okay, you jumped a little way that time, Mike. All right, good. Get those hips turned. That one didn't feel right, did it? Yeah, you didn't turn. Now look, it's better than you were when you came in here. When I tossed you those balls and you came in here, you were hitting it and you were landing like this. So that was all this, right? Alright. You jump hard, drive that knee in the air, and I want you to drive your knee higher. So let's drive that knee a little bit higher on your, and let's see if, well, what I'm trying to do is get you a little more in rhythm, and let's see if that helps. So drive the knee up. Yes, all right, I think that's better. Because what I'm thinking is, sometimes you get here and then you rush. Right there. If you drive that knee in the air, right then it worked. Let's see if it works the second time. Okay, good. You're good on the bottom half. And you turn. Okay? Good. Now that one looked good. Watch this. Now did that feel good? Okay. So that's what we're after. The problem is I've given you like 4 things to think about, right? Well, we took one of them away. The hip shoulder separation. We took that. We'll worry about that later. All right. All right, so let's hit 5 and let's see how many you can get. Hips turn. So you're thinking about 3 things, right? You're thinking about throwing your arms back and driving your knee forward or up. Let's count that as 1. And then the other one is you getting your hips turned, okay? So we're gonna try 5, get them right. All right, that's 1. I think that's good. Okay. Pretty good. Yeah, a little bit. Maybe. Okay, so once that ball went down because you kept it in front. I'm gonna move this thing back over here. So that's 2. You're 2 out of 2. All right, so go again. 3. I'm going to say this, I don't want you to worry about it right now, but one of the things that's going to help you eventually is, instead of having this hand that's staying up, for it to come, you're going to want your thumb to hit your shoulder blade. Boom, right there. Don't worry about that. That's just where we're going to head eventually. And I tend to try to do too much in one session, so I'm trying to hold myself back on that. Is this too much? So, yeah, don't worry about that. So you're thinking about really your approach, arms back, knee drive. So we're going to count that as 1.5 things, and we're going to say hip turn. Let's go. One more time. All right, good. All right. Now, just to change gears in your mind a minute, and because we got this thing set up, you ever been taught anything about tooling the block or anything like that? Okay. Now eventually you're going to be able to see the hand, but in your league, probably what you get a lot of is like really tight sets and sort of joust at the net or something real close. This is just a bonus, just to get your mind on something else, and then so that we can come back to that, revisit what we were just doing. When the ball's tight, what everybody wants to do is this. See my hips? If you turn your hips and push into that and sweep out, it's your point every single time. Okay? Every single time. You remember, did you told you that before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like going off of their feet. Like
Yeah.
going off of their feet.
But everybody wants to do this, and that's weak. Oh, this is strong. See how my hips are turned? And then that is your point. There's no defense for that. Zero, right? Yeah, exactly. So the big thing is, though, people want to just touch it, and then it'll come down to your side. You got to be forceful and push that thing in, just like that, and then flip it off. Not flip it off. That's a different thing, right? So see if you can do that. No, you're not hitting. Now you can't. Now that, yeah, hitting's a different thing. When you're trying to tool, tooling is hitting, so that is part of that, right? But this is something a little bit different. So on this one, it's a tight ball that people aren't expecting to hit, and you just got to get close to the net so that you can get turned and push. But if you turn, and you're going to be able to reach, and you're going to get it, okay? All right, so let's see if you can do it. All right. You got to get here, and you got to push it all the way into her hand. You got to push it over there, right? So don't sweep before you push. So that's what I like about this thing right here, is if you sweep before you push, you're not going to get it out of this bracket. You got to push it through the bracket and then sweep it. And you don't have to start from all the way back there if you don't want to. There you go. Good.
I'm terrible
all right.
at this.
All right, so that was really good. It hit the antenna, it went off you, and it went off her, and hit the antenna. Do it again. That one you didn't get quite. Dude, watch. See if I can get out of the way. I don't think your hips got turned. You gotta get. I'll try to send you a video of a girl that did this in the All-Star game 2 or 3 years ago. Was beautiful. All right, before you landed there. All right. Yeah. So you may not. I mean, you're not going to be able to. And the other thing that we probably need to get yourself out of is having to have a 3-step approach or something. Because I mean, sometimes it's a stutter step, and you get up here. Because if you jump from here to there, it's going to be tough. But if you jump from here to there, you can still do it. But you've got. I mean, your hips have to. Your belly button has to be facing that way, and you're reaching this way, and then you can stay out of the net then. So that's what I want you to work on. Get those hips turned. Go ahead. Let's get closer to it. Alright, so now you're Alright, watch. You didn't turn your hips. So that's all arm. Turn those hips. I want you to land facing that way. better. Watch your hip. If I told you to do one thing right here, it's get your hips turned, because that's where your power is. You're not going to power it like this. And they're not going to have, they can't stand your, I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, some JV girls are bigger and stronger and all that stuff. They still can't handle it if you'll turn. Yeah, so what, and I'll bet you in your mind you're thinking the ball's got to go that way, so you're trying to hit it on this side. You hit it straight from back here, and you push all the way through, and then you turn. Okay, so you got to think, push all the way through. There you go, perfect. Watch. There you go. That was kind of a halfway. It looked like you tried to push it that way, like you shoot the basketball over there. Okay. Now I just want you to stand there and do it, because you're not going to be able to make your approach sometimes, right? All right. Okay. Push harder. Push harder through it. Push harder through it. There you go. Perfect. Okay. That's great. What'd you do that time? I don't know. Yeah, okay. Okay, and I think that's good. Because I didn't tell you this, but you don't want your fingers on it. You want your palm on it. So you're pushing hard like this, because if you put your fingers on it, put your fingers on it, push. All right? So it could roll off like that, and then put your palm on it. Push, right? Yeah. So it's a lot more stable. So you got to think about that. You don't want to touch the bottom of the ball and do that. That's too flimsy. You got to be strong. Okay. There you go. Good. So now what happens if you make your approach and you get your hips turned and reach out and do it? Let's see what happens then. Because that's going to happen to you a lot in your career. Is the ball's just going to be too tight, right? That's great, except for you got into the net. But watch. That's the other thing too, is if you push hard here, you get to stop yourself a little bit. And then you sweep and you can stay out of the net. So you basically are pushing her over. She doesn't have a chance if you do that. There you go, go ahead and get turned. Did you hit it with your palm or your fingers? Okay, let's get your palm. Right. The only thing you didn't do is what? Get your hips turned. Twist those hips. Okay, alright, we can move on to something else. I just wanted to cover that since we were right here. Now, if you want to hit some off of the hands, is that too tight there? I mean, that is a little tight. The other thing that will amaze you is that you can see the hands without changing anything about what you're looking at. You're still looking at the ball, but everybody just looks at the ball and you're not aware. You're looking at the ball and you can still see the hands, right? Alright, see what happens there if you hit that. You gotta hit her left hand. Or her right. Alright, there you go. I got fingers. Did you get turned? Okay. There you go, good. So there ain't the defense for that either. All right. Let's see. Most high school kids, they don't know how to use the block. You learn how to use the block, you learn how to see it, and then use it. I had a kid, she was my number 2 hitter And we were 3 points away from going to the state championship match. And she couldn't break an egg with her hip. She was a senior, but now she could, I mean, she would finesse the heck out. She would score off the block and it would just make people crazy. The problem is that we got into, you need to get you some water, yeah. We got into, it was the semifinals, state semifinals. We went 5 with the team, and we had a number of points that the line judge didn't catch. Because, I mean, they put officials line judging, and they never line judge during the season. And we had the worst line judges in, like, regional and state. They're just awful. And my captain was telling her, hey, she's hitting it off of the block, or she would just push it off the block. And, but anyway, and that probably did cost us enough points, maybe to make the finals anyway. All right, so we'll hit this one out, and then let me move it. Well, all right, no, let me not move it, because you do get set that tight sometimes, and you got to be able to stay out of the net. In fact, I'm going to put it a little closer to the net. Because I want you to prove to yourself that if you turn your hips, and you have a good arm swing, that you're not going to get into the net, okay? Now you won't will the first time. Okay? So you're not jumping hard because it's tight to the net. What you can't do, you can't broad jump into it because you will get into the net. So you need your steps to be a little bit longer so that you're jumping more straight up, but it's not going to be that much more straight up. But you got to turn your hips, and when you turn your hips, you can snap the ball. And now, like if you don't turn your hips, then you're sitting here trying to stay out of the net like this. If you turn your hips and snap, now you're here, and you can bend over all you want to and stay out of the net. So we're still concentrating on 2 things: big back swing and knee drive, number 1, and number 2, I want you facing that way when you land, okay? Too high? Well, that was at 100. You've been hitting it like 101, 101. So you're not jumping as hard. Because why are you not jumping as hard? No, because it's probably maybe a number of things. But you're tied to the net and you're scared that you're going to get in the net. So we got to figure out how to jump and still swing and jump hard and not be scared you're going to get in the net. So let's see if we can do that. There you go. Did you get your hips turned? No, not quite. Violent hip turn. Good. Now I know what you think. Like that one, you did get your hips turned, but you didn't hit it as hard. Okay? So you play again Tuesday, right?
Thursday, right?
Tuesday or Thursday? Okay.
Thursday.
All right. So we'll try it a few more times. But the reason when you get all the way turned around and you're not swinging, you're not hitting it quite as hard, is because you don't have that hip and shoulder separation. Okay? So in the interim, we'll decide or we can decide today, or you can decide next week if you want to try to do the drastic hip turn or not. The jumping higher is going to help you, but let's try to. I told you I wasn't going to make you do the hip-shoulder separation, but if you can hold your shoulder, get those hips turned and keep your shoulders back, let's see if that works. Okay. All right, jump hard. All right, let's get those hips turned. Because you'll stay out of the net if you get the hips turned, I think. Twist those hips. All right. But still swing hard. Okay, that one was better, I think. Are you jumping as hard as you can? No? Okay. I'm going to move it back off a little bit. Now, where do you normally get set at anyway? All over the place, I know. And like how close to the net? Okay. All right. Now, just to finish off what I was saying. I don't know if I got some space in here. I'll just open it. If my arm swing is good, I can hit a ball here. See if I can still do it. All right, don't watch the ball. Watch my arm. So I've started turning here, and I've got the hip-shoulder separation. The ball is going to be right on top of the net. Watch where my hand winds up going. I mean, I got it that time. Here. Right? So there, I don't have to do that. So if when my arm swing, and we haven't worked on arm swing at all, when my arm swing gets right, it's going to be doing here, okay? That's where it's going to wind up. That's where you're going to wind up headed. Again, don't worry about that right now. Remind me what I told you to worry about.
What are you worried about?
Yeah, remind me what I told you to hit, all right? And now we're trying to do a little bit of hip-shoulder separation. Well, don't worry about that as much as worry about whipping your hand. Get your hips twisted. Once you lift off, you've decided whether you're going to get them turned or not. Once that happens, I want you to whip your hand and smack the ball hard. Okay. All right, good. Jump hard. Every time that ball's in the air, you should just be foaming at the mouth. All right. Well, one, you're a little bit tired. You've been jumping for a while. So, I would probably worry about that. What do you think is going to help you next week? I mean, what do you think we can work on that will help you next week?
Probably like contacting the ball better.
Contacting the ball better? Okay. All right. We'll let you hit the. Don't feel that any more of those. What was you gonna say?
I think she has a hard time judging
Okay.
where the set's going to go.
Yeah.
Because they had one setter all summer,
Yeah.
and then one that's injured came back.
Yeah.
So I said, well, that's something you just got to figure out. You got to figure out where she's going to place it, and you got to. It's always like you said. Sometimes it's just a two-step
Yeah.
approach. Sometimes you have to wait. Sometimes it's a shoot.
So yeah, we'll work. Hit all these out, and we'll work on that. Jump hard. Drive that knee. It seems like that time, what? It seems like you're getting in too big of a hurry. So you don't have time to swing those arms back, because by the time you get back here, you're already going, right? Drive that knee up, and let's get a rhythm here. Boom, like that. And let's see if we can get, what I talk about is you kind of jump into your jump, okay? All right, so that time you didn't go out, you stepped into it. Get a little closer. All right. right, hang on. We're not gonna make you jump and hit the rest of those. I'll get them out. Alright, I'm gonna toss you some balls. Alright, so adjusting to the set. So it doesn't matter if it's the same setter or a different setter, it's still gonna be all over the place, right? Who's setting for y'all now? Okay. Carly, yeah. So you're on JV? Okay. Alright, let's see. So what happens normally, I mean, you're probably not getting real good swings because of all the chaos, partly. So if the ball is sitting up there like it is now, you probably get decent swings, right? So let me see if you can. So let me toss you a few balls and let's see if you can turn your hips and all that stuff. Right, ready? Oh, my fault. That was too far over, wasn't it? So that's kind of typical of where the balls go, right? All over the place. All right, here we go. So you went. Okay. Did you mean to, or? Okay. All right. Y'all's aren't that high, probably, are they? Or are they? It's just depends. Okay, so in order to make that adjustment, we know that you can do a two-step approach, right? It's weird because at that age you got to do more adjusting because of the setter than you would in varsity, but after you're in varsity, you've got enough experience where you can. So it's really you're in a catch-22. So if you started a little closer, let's start a little closer. And let's just see if you can go up and hit a ball with a small first step and then the only thing that's really important is your last two. Okay? If you can take your last two and swing your arms back and turn your body, turn your hips, you're gonna get some power in it. Okay? So let's work on that. Okay, but jump hard. You got to jump hard. So even from there, I want you to drive that knee up and jump. If you watch any college volleyball? Okay. So you'll notice sometimes these outsides, second ball's out there, and they're standing here, and they'll go like that here, because it's a real high ball, because the libero's passing it, or your forearm bump setting it over here, and they'll just take and they'll wait for that last two steps. So that's really kind of the idea that I want you to have is drive that knee up in the air for your last two. Okay, that was better. We'll wait and judge it. Ready? All right, good. I mean, you're tired, so don't judge that. Of course, I mean, you will be tired, but you won't be jumping like you've been jumping today. All right, you ready? Okay. All right. Give out, aren't you? Yeah. I can tell your legs are. So don't judge on taping, hitting the tape. We're trying to judge. I probably did too much jumping with you on that thing. So how comfortable do you feel? I mean, and what we've always taught is get way back here. Are you finding that when you get back here, you can't catch up to the ball all the time? Okay. So, don't start way back. If you know the set's going to be there and you know the timing's going to be right, that's exactly where you should be. But how comfortable do you feel right here? Better? You're automatically going to jump back here, but go ahead and creep up. You know, because you're going to get back and be ready. Go ahead and creep up because your main job is to adjust to where the set is. Okay? So if the set's over here, you may have to take 3 steps and then do this. And that's perfectly fine. I think we train players too much in you got to get all the way back and you got to make a 3-step approach. When in your league, you can't do that. In college, you can, right? All right. So if you transition off the net, all right. So and then the setter's about to set the ball. You can go ahead and creep up there. I just want you to relax because you're getting back there now, and you're doing exactly like you've been taught. Ready to make your 3-step approach. But the reality of the situation is you've just got to adjust and get the. So we can't simulate that in here, but I would say in your next practice, just think about adjusting. You don't know where the ball's going, so you got to wait until she sets it for you to go get it. Okay? All right, so I'm just going to toss you a few random balls. All right, you ready? Ready? There you go, good. Alright, that's real good over ball.
I'm used to it.
Yeah.
Like, don't be set way back here.
Yeah. Alright, so now this time I'm gonna do that and I want you to jump. So you're gonna hop back and jump. So instead of driving your knee up like this, you're gonna drive your knee back and jump up and hit. Okay? There you go. Not bad. Get your hips turned. That's a good decision. It's not bad. That's good. There you go, good. What'd you do? One of the things that helps me when it's not ideal, like if I'm jumping straight up at the ball, you're letting up a little bit. I just try to throw my elbow up towards the ball and try to stay high, but I still want to whip the ball. Y'all need to go, by the way. It's 5:30. It's up to y'all. All right, you ready? All right. Get turned. So when you jump straight up, I still want you to turn your hip. There you go, good. So that's okay. We'll worry about that later. But you turn, and what does that do? That puts you where you're hitting the ball there instead of if you go up and you're hitting. Look, your hand's coming down, and that's why you're going into the net all the time. Here is that thing right there, and that's a really good location. If you get set in here, that's still a great location because of a number of things. Everybody thinks it's going here. Nobody's over there, and if it hits the block, it's probably going to hit it and go out. So 3 good things could happen. All right, you ready? My bad. I tossed it over behind you. But go ahead and shift back. I'm gonna try to do the same thing, and now I want you to shift back. All right, you ready? I'm gonna give you more time though. All right, you didn't turn your hip. That's gonna be a habit. All right. All right, you ready? Good. So you're comfortable going getting that ball, right? I just think you're not going to get all of it. I don't think you're going to get this ball if you start back there. I think you got to start out in a mental mode of the ball's not going to be where it's supposed to be. I've got to figure out, and I got to be able to get there. But when I get there, I'm going to jump high and I'm going to turn my hips, and that's where I'm going to get my power. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. All right, so you ready? All right. Turn that one towards the corner. Yeah, you are turning late. Turn those hips. Oh, almost. That's a good idea. I didn't give you enough time. There you go. You kind of committed to that one and jumped under it, right? Remember, wait. There you go. All right. I'm giving you too many things to think about, but so I won't give you any more. You got a stitch in your side? Okay. All right. Anything else you want to do? I know you give out, so. I don't know that I've helped you a whole lot.
You have.
I think that if you can turn your hips, I should have concentrated more on what you could do for next week, but the mindset of I've got to be in a position to go get the ball, and then when you do, here, jump up and turn those hips. You can get power turning your hips, and you can keep from hitting it into the net if you'll turn the hips. Got any other questions? You done? I figured you were.